In our previous lesson, we learned to add and subtract like sets. In this lesson, we would want to discuss some of the rules of sets. By the end of the lesson, I expect you to be able to state the rules of sets and subsequently apply them in solving problems involving sets. Let's take a look at the rules. Now, before we get into it, let us discuss these very important things. Note, the square root of A is the same as A raised to the power half. All right. Let's take the first rule. If I have square root of A times square root of A, this becomes square root of A times A, which becomes square root of A raised to the power of 2. And this becomes square root of A raised to the power 2 times half. This is what we discussed in the beginning. What happens is that 2 times half, this divides this one, and we get A. Example, root 2 times root 2 is going to give us root 2 to the power 2, which becomes 2 raised to the power of 2 times half, and this reduces to 2. Let's look at root 2. Square root of A divided by square root of A. This will become the bigger square root of A divided by A. And this becomes the square root of 1. And that is equal to 1. For example, root 5 over root 5 is equal to bigger root of 5 divided by 5, and this reduces to root of 1, which is equal to 1. We can look at this root 3. We have A root B times root C. This is going to give us A times 1 square root of B times C. And that will become A root BC. What it means is that if you are multiplying two sets of this nature, the simple trick is multiply the outside by the outside to give you the final outside, multiply the inside by the inside to give you the final inside. Great. Can you try your hands on this? Let's see. Two root 3 times 3 root 2. You have 5 seconds. This becomes 2 times 3, 6. Outside, outside, outside. Root 3 times 2. Inside, inside. You get 6. So 2 times 3 times 3. 2 root 3 times 3 root 2 gives us 6 root 6. We can look at other rules. A times B root C. In this case, the first number is not a surd, but the second one is a surd. How do we multiply that? Very simple. This becomes, you just have an outside here and no inside. So outside times outside, get your AB. Then you bring this inside. Note, root A plus root B is not equal to root A plus B. Also, root A minus root B is not equal to root A minus B. There are other rules we would encounter as we progress. This brings us to the end of the lesson. In this lesson, we have gone through the various basic rules of surds. In our next lesson, we'll learn to multiply surds made up of binomials. Hope to see